$7,000 and something, and we did issue an insurance claim. An insurance claim because what the deductible is $5,000. Therefore, we technically pay the whole amount, the $7,000, but we also have a check for about $2,300 from the insurance company, and that was put into the operating account, deposited into the operating account for cash flow. So I guess the only suggestion is to wait and see what happens by the end of September, and if there's any money left from this past quarter, then we can pay back the special assessment if it's allowed. That all depends how many bills, and how many by the end of September, and then we can pay back the special assessment. Paul.
I have a question. Paul, what was the special assessment allocated for? In other words, when you did a special assessment.
Well, first of all, the total of the special assessment was $109,500.
Okay.
There were 4 items included in that account. It was $40,000 for the purpose of paying off the Schindler lawsuit. There was $35,000 included therein for the purpose of replacing the reserve outside of the 5 items. There was $15,000 in there for seal coating the driveway and parking lot. There was $10,000 in there for repairing the roofs of the carports on the east side of the property. And there was $10,000 included in there for landscaping.
So, by good accounting principles, the money recovered from the insurance companies, doesn't it have to be returned to the special assessment account? Because that's
Yes,
where money came from.
That's the goal. $2,000 and something. It was sent to
But
us.
I mean, not just the goal, I mean, shouldn't be in the operating account,
It wasn't.
should it?
It was deposited into. I'm trying to answer your question.
I know, but I want to hear from Paul, he's the treasurer. I'm sorry. I want to.
I've never encountered this situation before. So I'm not absolutely certain, but what you're saying seems to make sense to me. That if we took the money out of the special assessment account, that any money that we recover through insurance should be returned to the special assessment.
Excuse me, Paul, let me clarify this, please. We had 3 to 4 elevators go down. The $2,400 or $2,200 went to pay off the previous 1101 bill that we owed money on because we didn't have the money to pay for it. So it had to go to pay the past bill.
Thank you.
So that's where that money went because we still owed money because unfortunately that 1101 had been hit or had 3 issues with elevators. The first one we paid for, the second 2, due to the great negotiating skills on Lucia, she got the elevator company to do that free of charge under a defective panel. We're still waiting to see if there's a last bill when they came and worked over the weekend because we had a lot of unfortunate situations with people who lived in that building who were kind of held captive. So we paid for overtime, of which we have not been billed for the elevator. We believe that it's going to happen because there's been enough weeks that have transpired now, because we do think that it was the elevator company's fault why we kept having those issues. So that's
no counting the fact that the first CPU from elevator 1, we only got billed half of the money. We still owe the other half, and that's why that $2,000 went put in the operating account.
right, because we need
I thought
to get it
Paul
back.
would know that. I mean, I thought he would know about the treasury.
It's tough when you do these things that we can be here for 5 hours just discussing all the little intricacies. So a great question.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, sorry.
I think the first claim we ended up paying $4,000 or something, and then the second claim shows on the 22nd of August we paid $7,569.04 to touch an elevator.
And that was for that was 1133 versus 1101, so it was 2 two separate buildings,
Right.
Correct.
two separate events.
Correct.
But three total events in 1101. So to clarify for anybody who's not
Correct.
familiar with the chain of events.
I just wasn't sure
I think we're
whether,
gonna put a lightning rod on that building.
Yeah.
I think, well, look, unfortunately, summer is almost over, but we gotta keep this moving.
Yeah,
So,
we're gonna keep.
can we get to the delinquency update and,
Well, I've got a couple more things in the treasurer's report that
Okay.
I want to mention. You know, I just said that the revenue that we collected year to date exceeded budget, which is great. A second observation that I want to make is that the actual revenue exceeded our expenses by about $43,000, which obviously is wonderful. And the last comment that I would like to make on the budget, or on these numbers anyway, is that the actual expenses are less than the budget by about $41,000. So all of those things are really good. Just one additional treasurer's report comment, and that's directed toward the future. You know, major financial issues that we'll be dealing with in the future are, as already mentioned in the meeting, that's the insurance issue. We are going to be meeting with insurance companies, I believe, next week to begin discussions on next year's insurance policy, which begins on October 1st. The current year policy expires on September 30th. Shortly after that, we'll be in 2015 budget negotiations, budget discussions, and one 2015 contract issue that is the expiration of the Comcast contract. So that's sort of a little bit of a glimpse into the financial future of major issues. Okay, with respect to the delinquency report, she was kind enough to provide a report that was run yesterday. And that report shows that as of yesterday, there was $27,500.63 owed to the association by 24 accounts. Of that, included in those 24 accounts are 2 accounts that are being managed by our attorneys and 5 accounts that have been issued an intent to lien letter by Century. If you add up money owed from 2 accounts that are being handled by attorneys and 5 accounts with intent to lien letters, those 7 accounts represent 80% of the total amount of money owed, or almost $22,000. So we are actively pursuing the recovery of $22,000 of the $27,500 that the association is currently owed. And I just want to mention that since the beginning of the year, we have made tremendous success, considerable effort in reducing the amount of money that are owed to the association. January of this year, the delinquency report shows that the association was owed almost $56,000. So as a result of a lot of effort, we have reduced that down to $27,500 as of yesterday. And given the fact that 8% of the amount of money owed is in those 7 accounts, and we are taking legal actions to collect those monies, I think we're just doing a terrific job trying to collect the funds that are owed to the association. So with that, I think I'm done.
Great, hey, thank you very much, Paul. I'd like to just make one addition to that last comment, with thanks to Lucia and Century's great guidance here. We have been able to trim that. It's something that I don't think has ever been done in Van Loon, where we held owners accountable for the money that they owe us, and we need that to operate. And we're not going to take any excuses. If you owe us appropriating the money. So great job, Lucia and Century, for really guiding us and helping reduce that immensely.
Okay. Next thing I take is Rick.
Oh, business, the wonderful issue of water meters. There's going to come a day, I promise you, where we're not going to have to discuss this anymore. You know, kind of just let this flow underneath us. Mr. Gilmore.
Yeah, I have a question. Obviously, everything's being recorded here today, and I just wonder if that's if the board is aware of that and has approved that.
It is legal.
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
That's
it
fine.
is. That's fine.
Yeah, not a problem.
They're entitled, residents are entitled, yep.
We have nothing to hide.
Okay.
So with the water meters, hopefully we'll let this pass. Which you've all been well aware of, this has dragged on far too long, and most certainly what the board has done is try to look at the situation, as you've heard me say before, in a fair and equal way for every owner. There's not one owner in the 150 units that disabled or caused their meter to fail. It was Master Meter who had defective meters. And everybody wants to blame everybody for all the situations. Nobody's to blame. So what we had to do is look at $17,000 that was short. And a lot of figuring with the entire board, we came up with a very simple solution. We used the Cape Coral billing method, so nobody had to question what we did. You look at a Cape Coral water bill, everything that you got in your bill is right here. This is what the city of Cape Coral says this community owes for water. Not what Champion told us, not what another management company told us. This is what we have to pay the city of Cape Coral, or nobody here has water. Bottled water will be the solution. So most certainly, that's what we did. Everybody had to pay their share of service fee to have water at your unit. Just the same way when you're not here, you pay water in your unit even though you're not here. There's no free lunch. Everybody has to pay that. That's where that $20 came from on that. So those who used water and didn't pay for it, also those who didn't pay for the $20 were as held accountable for that same way. So everybody got billed from June moving forward because the board looked at it, and this was really a lot of input from Brenda, who's a seasonal, who helped us guide through this. We started with June to be fair to everybody, even though the meters started to fail in January, February, March, April, etc. We wanted to be fair because all we had to do was collect the amount of money that we knew the association was owed in a fair and equal manner to every owner. No bias towards anybody, no pointing fingers. So what we did was, so we used that $20 and actually Brenda reduced it because it should have been more than that. So we reduced it to $20 for your monthly fee from June to December. We also used off Cape Coral water bill, how much Cape Coral would charge you for water, not how much Champion would charge you 1 month and the next month and another month and another month. We used a consistent number so that when you look at the bill, you'll know the amount of money that you should be charged. Once again, fair and equitable to everybody. Having said that, we sent out these bills, and to date we have collected about 32%, or about almost $5,700 worth of the money that we're looking to collect.
How much?
But actually,
56, 44, 24.
Where did you get that number? From the, yeah, okay.
And it's 32% of our goal.
Okay.
So I appreciate everybody who's paid. Now, I guess the question will come up is, what's the negative feedback on this? Because obviously people got bills in this, everybody's going to have a different opinion as to what the solution should have been. And everybody's entitled to their opinion. But having been involved in many conversations with a lot of owners, once you explain it very simply and plainly like that, I have not had one owner ever argue with me. They all sent their check in. They understand. It's helping the community out to regain the money that we took out of our HOA fee. So if we're already ahead, as Paul has indicated, and now we have another $5,000, and we get the other $10,000, we actually will come into 2015 since I've been here for the first time, in great financial shape. Thank you for your support. We're going to keep it going. What we need to do next is, as you all know, unfortunately, the lawyers don't like us too much. I mean, we don't like them too much either. They like to waffle, but they have been very nice also, and they have not charged me for a lot of consultation with them. So what I have to do is we sent out that survey with that bill, because we wanted to test the waters, so to speak, no pun intended, and see what the community felt about a new vote. Because some people say just go find another lawyer who'll say the vote was legal. Well, why would we go spend $600,000 or whatever to have this lawyer piss this lawyer off, to piss that lawyer off, to go and spend more money on legal fees that we've already spent far too much on? So it's easier and cheaper to spend postage for a vote and let the community make a decision, because it's not my decision, it's not anybody on the board's decision, it's your decision whether we have meters or not. Quite frankly, anybody who votes against the meters, I wouldn't understand, because it's going to clearly help this community resolve the issues that we've had in the past with water controversies and help reduce a non-renewable resource. When the water's gone, it's gone, and we're using far more of it these days than ever before. So we need to conserve water and be charged appropriately. If you're not here, there's no reason why you should be paying for your neighbor's water. So I highly encourage everybody, when we get to that point, because what we're going to do is have United Utility Service come back in and make a presentation probably in October or early November, when we have more seasonal owners down here so that they can all hear and be part of this. We want your feedback. We want to know why you agree or why you disagree, so that we can address that prior to any vote and make sure that the community, for the best that we can do, understands the entire process and the entire ramifications of voting yes versus voting no. So that will be taking place coming up. So please be patient with us, and as I say, one day this will be behind us and we'll be happily ever after, quite sure. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the water.
So now we're to new business, with a discussion on instituting information request legal recommendation.
And actually, an interesting thing has happened to this community. We have some owners who want to continually ask for information because they think that we're not giving them all the proper information that they need to be an owner and understand what the board is doing. And they have every right to ask that. However, unfortunately, what's happened is Century and the board have been distracted time and time again with the same information being asked. When we provide it, it's being questioned, and we keep going back and forth. Earlier this month, there was a request that came in that an owner wants to contest now, 9 months after our vote for this board, that the vote was not legal and not done properly, which incurred another legal bill because I didn't really answer that question. I had to turn to our lawyers. And once again, we had to spend more money because somebody asked a question that was, the horse was out of the barn. You have 60 days after an election to contest it. And in an election, only an owner can vote. You can't give the vote to your friend to pass it for you. You can't say to somebody else, you vote for me. It has to be done in a legal process. So I had to get that answered by our lawyers. In doing that, our lawyers also said, I'm tired of charging you for money for the same thing over and over and over again. One thing you might consider is limiting how many times during the course of a year an owner can ask for information. And the rule of thumb would be once. Well, we discussed this amongst the board, and we don't like that. We want every owner to have free access. However, we ask all owners to use the discretion and to monitor ourselves and to curtail ourselves, to trust people that are elected who run the facility to talk to us in an open manner so that we can address this in a non-threatening and non-combative forum so that we as a community can be at peace and not be at war with each other. Because when I read blogs that talk negatively about our community, it most certainly devalues, insults, and defames what we work for every day here. Because if I was a real estate agent, or if I was a potential owner and I go on and I Google Namlin Commons and I read and I see all of this stuff about how bad the board is, how bad the community is, I'm less apt to buy here. It devalues our property and it does not help our community. So it's a tough decision, and right now I'm tabling that.